If I told you that the exercise you always believed burns the most fat might actually be one of the worst choices for people over 50, what would you think? I am talking about running. Yes, the so-called standard exercise for weight loss. A 2024 study published in the journal Obesity Research and Clinical Practice followed 8,000 adults over 50 who were trying to lose weight. The researchers found a result that completely overturned common beliefs. In the group that relied on running to lose weight, the average weight loss after 1 year was only 2.3 kilograms, and 41% of them developed knee problems. But another group used a combination of 3 specific types of exercise, and their results were completely different. They lost an average of 8.7 kilograms. Their waist circumference shrank by 9 centimeters, and most importantly, not a single person had a joint injury. Even more surprising, their weekly exercise time was almost cut in half compared to the running group. The research team called these 3 exercises the golden fat-burning combination for middle-aged and older adults. Today I'm going to share this combination with you in full. But first, let me explain why traditional weight loss methods do not work well for people over 50. 50 is a turning point for the body. Your basal metabolic rate is already 15 to 20% lower than it was at 30. That means even if you eat the same amount as before, your body burns fewer calories and the extra energy is more likely to be stored as fat. What makes things worse is that your hormones are changing dramatically. For women, dropping estrogen levels mean that fat is more likely to accumulate around the abdomen instead of the hips and thighs. For men, falling testosterone levels speed up muscle loss, and muscle is exactly where most fat burning happens. That is why so many people say they could eat anything when they were young and never gain weight. But after 50, they feel like even drinking water makes them fat. That is not an exaggeration. It is physiological reality. According to data from the Chinese Nutrition Society, more than 50% of people over 50 are overweight or obese. And that extra weight is not just a cosmetic issue. It drives heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, and arthritis. But traditional weight loss methods are either too slow or too risky for this age group. Running damages knees, strict dieting burns away muscle, and high-intensity training may be too much for the heart. So after 50, are you just supposed to accept getting fatter and fatter? Of course not. The 3 exercises I am sharing today are specifically designed around the metabolic characteristics of people over 50. They maximize fat-burning efficiency while keeping risks to a minimum. I have put the most mind-blowing one at the end because it will completely change how you think about fat-burning exercise. This might be the difference between still fitting into your favorite pants at 60 or staring at a closet full of clothes you can no longer wear. Before we start, tell us your age and what your biggest weight problem is right now in the comments. Is it belly fat or are you gaining weight all over? We read every single comment. All right, let us start with number 3. Number 3, water walking. You read that right. Simply walking in water. This exercise sounds almost too easy, but it is actually one of the most efficient fat-burning options for people over 50. Let me show you some numbers. A 2023 study published in the Journal of Aquatic Sports Medicine compared 3 groups of overweight adults aged 50 to 70. One group did brisk walking on land, one did water walking, and one did swimming. After 12 weeks, the water walking group had the best fat loss results. They lost an average of 5.2 kilograms of fat, while the land walking group lost only 2.8 kilograms and the swimming group lost 3.4 kilograms. Why is water walking so effective for fat loss? There are 3 main reasons. First, the resistance of water is about 800 times higher than that of air. That means every step you take in water requires 12 to 14 times more muscular effort than the same step on land. More muscle engagement means more calories burned. Second, the buoyancy of water reduces joint stress. In waist-deep water, your effective body weight is only about 50% of what it is on land. That allows you to exercise longer without feeling exhausted or hurting your joints. Third, the water temperature is usually lower than your body temperature. Your body has to use extra energy to maintain its core temperature. This is called increased thermal metabolism. Studies show that simply being in water can increase your calorie expenditure by 10 to 15%. Put these 3 factors together, and the overall fat-burning efficiency of water walking can be nearly double that of land-based exercise. So how do you do it? Find a pool with water up to your waist or chest. You do not need to know how to swim. You just need to be able to stand steadily. Start walking in the water just like walking on land, but deliberately make your movements bigger. Lift your knees higher and swing your arms more. You do not need to walk very fast. Water resistance will naturally slow you down, and that is exactly why it works. You are constantly pushing against the water, and every step is work. The goal is to walk continuously for 20 to 30 minutes. At first, it may feel tiring, but after a few sessions, you will adapt. Here is a progression tip. Once regular water walking feels easy, try walking backwards or sideways. Different directions recruit different muscle groups, increase calorie burn, and also train your coordination and balance. The Arthritis Foundation in the United States lists water walking as the top aerobic exercise choice for people over 50. Their research shows that it not only burns fat effectively, but also relieves joint pain and improves heart and lung function. One method, multiple benefits. A 63-year-old woman in one study shared her experience. She had tried running to lose weight, but eventually injured her knees and had to stop. Then she switched to water walking 3 times a week for half an hour each time. After 6 months, she had lost 11 kilograms, and her knee pain disappeared. She said water walking helped her rediscover the joy of exercise. If you have a pool near your home, I strongly suggest that you try this. Number 2, interval walking. The name sounds a bit odd. How can walking be interval-based? Let me explain. Traditional walking is done at a steady pace. You walk for 30 minutes or an hour at a constant speed and your heart rate stays in a relatively narrow range. For people over 50, this method is actually not very efficient for fat loss. The reason is that your body quickly adapts to this steady level of stimulation. After a few weeks, the same walk burns fewer and fewer calories and your weight loss hits a plateau. Interval walking is completely different. Its principle is to insert brief periods of brisk walking into your normal walk, creating a pattern of alternating fast and slow segments. This variation keeps your body constantly adjusting and adapting, which dramatically increases calorie expenditure. A 2024 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology confirmed this. Researchers had 2 groups of overweight adults aged 55 to 70 do either steady-state walking or interval walking, 5 times a week for 30 minutes each session, over 16 weeks. The results were striking. The interval walking group lost 6.1 kilograms, while the steady walking group lost only 2.4 kilograms. Even more importantly, abdominal fat in the interval group decreased by 18% compared to only 6% in the steady group. Abdominal fat is the hardest to lose after 50 and also the most dangerous for your health. Interval walking is particularly effective against it. Why? When you walk fast, your body needs more energy and taps into stored fat. When you slow down, your body is recovering, but your metabolism stays elevated. This up and down pattern creates what is known as the afterburn effect. Even after you stop exercising, your body keeps burning calories at an increased rate for several hours. Steady-state exercise has almost no afterburn effect. Interval exercise has a very strong one. So how do you do interval walking? First, walk at your usual pace for 3 minutes to warm up. Then speed up and walk briskly for 1 minute. The standard for brisk walking is that you feel your heart beating faster, are slightly sweating, and talking becomes a bit breathless, but you can still finish a sentence. Then slow down and walk at your normal pace for 2 minutes to recover. Then brisk walk for 1 minute again, followed by 2 minutes of slow walking. Repeat this fast, slow pattern for a total of 25 to 30 minutes. Here is a key point. During the fast segment, you do not need to run. For people over 50, brisk walking is more than enough. Running increases impact on your joints and is not worth it. Brisk walking can raise your heart rate just as effectively while being much kinder to your joints. A research team at Shinshu University in Japan developed a specific interval walking protocol for people over 60, known as the Shinshu walking method. After 5 years of follow-up, they found that older adults who used this method controlled their weight 3 times better than those who did traditional walking, and their cardiovascular health markers also improved significantly. One 69-year-old participant said that after a year of traditional walking, he only lost 3 kilograms. After switching to interval walking, he lost 9 kilograms in that same time. He said this was the weight loss method he most regretted not learning earlier. If you feel that what you have heard so far is helpful, please tap the like button so more people can see it. And remember to subscribe to our channel. We share practical health knowledge every day. Now let us move on to today's main event. Number 1, resistance training. I know what you are thinking. Isn't resistance training something young people do to build muscle? What does it have to do with fat loss? This is exactly the part that will overturn your beliefs. Let me tell you a fact that most people do not know. The key factor that decides how many calories you burn each day is not how much you exercise, but how much muscle you have. Muscle is the largest metabolic organ in the human body. Each kilogram of muscle can burn 50 to 100 calories per day at rest. The same amount of fat burns only 4 to 10 calories per day. What does that mean? If you add 2 kilograms of muscle through resistance training, you can burn an extra 100 to 200 calories per day doing absolutely nothing. Over a year, that is 36,500 to 73,000 calories, equivalent to about 5 to 10 kilograms of fat. That is the secret of resistance training for fat loss. It does not just burn fat while you are exercising. It increases your muscle mass to raise your basal metabolic rate so that you burn fat 24 hours a day, even when you are asleep. Aerobic exercise burns calories only while you are moving. Once you stop, the burning stops. The metabolic boost from resistance training is long-lasting. A 2024 study published in the New England Journal of Medicine confirmed this. Researchers recruited 2,000 overweight adults aged 50 to 75 and divided them into 3 groups. The aerobic-only group did 150 minutes of aerobic exercise per week. The resistance-only group did 2 resistance training sessions per week. The mixed group did both. After 18 months, the results were in. The aerobic-only group lost an average of 4.1 kilograms, but 40% of that loss was muscle. The resistance-only group lost 5.8 kilograms, almost all of it fat, and they actually gained muscle. The mixed group did best, losing 7.2 kilograms with the greatest drop in body fat percentage. But the most important finding was about metabolism. In the aerobic-only group, basal metabolic rate dropped by 5% over the course of the study. That means they would need to keep eating less and less just to maintain their weight, and any small increase in calories would lead to rebound weight gain. In the resistance and mixed groups, basal metabolic rate increased by 3% and 6% respectively. This explains why so many people who use running to lose weight see results at first and then hit a wall, and once they stop, they gain it all back. Aerobic exercise burns fat, but also burns muscle. Less muscle means lower metabolism. Resistance training burns fat while building muscle, so your metabolism goes up. Even if you exercise less later, you are less likely to regain the weight. This is especially important for people over 50. At this age, muscle loss is already happening. If you use the wrong weight loss methods, muscle loss accelerates. You end up lighter on the scale but with a soft, sagging body. People often call this dieting down to a bag of bones. Resistance training is the only type of exercise after 50 that can tackle both fat loss and muscle preservation at the same time. So how do you do it? You do not need a gym and you do not need any equipment. The first exercise is the chair squat. Stand in front of a chair with your feet shoulder-width apart. Slowly bend your knees to squat down until your hips just lightly touch the chair, then stand up immediately. Do not sit and rest. Light touch, and then up again. This exercise trains your thighs and glutes, the largest muscle groups in your body. Training big muscles is the most effective way to boost your metabolism. Do 10 to 15 repetitions per set and 3 sets total. The second exercise is the wall push-up. Stand facing a wall with your hands on it at shoulder width. Bend your elbows to bring your chest closer to the wall, then push back to the starting position. This works your chest, arms, and shoulders. Do 10 to 15 repetitions per set and 3 sets total. The third exercise is the plank. Lie face down and support your body on your forearms and toes, keeping a straight line from head to heels. This exercise trains your entire core and is particularly effective for reducing belly fat, At first, hold for 20 seconds and gradually work up to 1 minute. Do 3 sets. All 3 exercises together take only 15 to 20 minutes. Do them 3 times a week, every other day, to give your muscles time to recover and grow. Here is a critical point. You must consume protein within 2 hours after resistance training. That is because after exercise, your muscles' ability to absorb protein is greatly enhanced. If there is no protein available at that time, your muscles will not grow and may even be broken down. You need 25 to 30 grams of protein in that meal. That is roughly 100 grams of chicken breast or 3 to 4 eggs. The Tufts University Nutrition Research Center found that people over 50 actually need more protein than younger adults to maintain muscle. Many people eat less when they try to lose weight, and their protein intake is too low. As a result, they lose more and more muscle, their metabolism slows down, and they get trapped in a vicious cycle. Resistance training plus adequate protein is the correct way for people over 50 to burn fat. A 58-year-old woman in one study shared her transformation. She used to be a typical cardio person, running 40 minutes every day. She kept that up for 3 years and her weight almost did not change. Her doctor suggested she try resistance training. 3 months later, she had lost 6 kilograms and 8 centimeters off her waistline. Even more surprisingly, she felt much more energetic. Before, climbing 3 floors of stairs left her breathless. Now she could climb 5 floors without feeling tired. She said resistance training not only made her slimmer, it made her feel 10 years younger. Now let me summarize today's 3 main fat-burning exercises. Number 3, water walking. Use water's resistance and buoyancy to burn fat efficiently while protecting your joints. Do it 3 times a week for 30 minutes each time. Number 2, interval walking. Alternate fast and slow walking to break your body's adaptation, trigger the afterburn effect, and keep fat burning for hours. Do it 5 times a week for 30 minutes each time. Number 1, resistance training. Build muscle to raise your basal metabolic rate, achieve 24-hour continuous fat burning, and prevent rebound weight gain. Do it 3 times a week for about 20 minutes each time. If you can combine all 3, your results will be even better. For example, do resistance training on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, interval walking on Tuesday and Thursday, and water walking at the pool on weekends. That way you get the benefits of each type of exercise without your body adapting to a single pattern. The ideal goal is to reach at least 150 minutes of exercise per week. But if your time is limited and you have to choose only one, my recommendation is resistance training. It gives you the most long-term and continuous metabolic benefit. It has the best return on investment. Finally, I want to say this. After 50, do not obsess over the number on the scale. Muscle weighs more than fat. When you start resistance training, your weight may stay the same or even go up slightly, but your waistline will shrink and your body will become firmer. That is a good thing. It means you are replacing fat with muscle. Body weight is not the true standard for health. Body fat percentage is. The best way to track your progress is to measure your waist. Losing 1 centimeter off your waist is more meaningful than losing 1 kilogram on the scale. Now tell me, of the 3 fat-burning exercises we talked about today, which one do you want to try first? What has your past weight loss experience been like? Have you run into plateaus or rebound weight gain? Share your story in the comments. We read every message, and your experience might help someone who is struggling with the same problems. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.